Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All praise is due to Allah. We praise Him and we thank Him that we are able to continue with our class. Allah bless all of you for continuing in the effort to get closer to Him through His book, the Quran, and through the language of the Quran, the Arabic language. All right. So, inshallah, before we proceed with the class today, some of you may already know, but I'll mention it to those who don't know. The Imam has mentioned to me that Imam Farid has asked me to throw it out to the class, the possibility of switching the night for our classes, our online classes, from Wednesday to either Monday or Thursday, all right? So you all can, Imam can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's Monday or Thursday, he said. All right, so you all can think about it. We could make a decision at the end of the class today. The reason for
Monday or Tuesday, but from speaking to some other people, like the sister who is monitoring and managing the Zoom, we look at the Tuesday. We want to zero down on the Tuesday.
Just now, Imam, I was barely, I think I had my speakers on loop. So you said, yeah, we want to look at Tuesday.
Yeah, we want to zero on the Tuesday. Because we shift the other face-to-face on Wednesdays and Sundays in order to facilitate the facilitator and the other, some of the other students. We had to shift that face-to-face class. But some of the students in this program is also on that program as well too. So we want to shift it to the Tuesday. Since it's from home, the Zoom. I don't know if in case it will affect any of the other participants.
Right. So this is what the Imam is proposing. All right. As you said, the other class, that the face-to-face class in the masjid, it will be going on a Wednesday, on a Sunday and a Wednesday. So we're looking at the Tuesday night from about 8:15 to 9:15. All right, for our online classes. Anybody has any objection to that? All right, so you all can think about it, and so inshallah, without if there's no objection, first you have until the end of the class today. You can, or even after that, you can message myself or the Imam and let us know your concerns. All right, if it is that you disagree with that, or you're okay with that, right? So inshallah, that is what the plan is. I know everybody would be accustomed with the Wednesday night, all right? And we could have been planning around that and so on, to some extent, So inshallah, you all can give us some feedback as to how you feel about that, inshallah, and we will keep the lines of communication open, inshallah. All right, so today we want to continue with our lesson. All right, let me just share the screen.
Okay, here we see, don't we?
All right, so somebody is saying something. Who's that? Galaxy 324. All right. Yeah. I think I was hearing somebody say something else. Anybody wanted to say something? No. All right. If not, we'll continue with our class, inshallah. All right, as usual, we're going to read our passage again to refamiliarize ourselves with it. Last week, we asked for any volunteers. Do we have any volunteers today to read? الدرس الرابع عشر. الدرس الرابع عشر. All right, nobody? Okay. Okay, so if nobody wants to read, then I'll read and ask everybody to read after me. Please pay attention to the text so we can see what it is we are reading. All right, this is a very crucial part of learning the language. Is reading it, saying it, and even writing it is a very important part. All right. So say after me. الدرس الرابع عشر. المدرس من بالباب؟ طالب. أنا طالب جديد. المدرس ادخل. ما اسمك؟ الطالب اسمي همايون. المدرس همايون. كيف تكتب هذا الاسم؟ اكتبه على هذه الورقة. الطلاب يا أستاذ ها هنا عقرب. المدرس أقرب في الفصل؟ أين هي؟ الطلاب انظر هنا يا أستاذ، هي تحت مكتب هشام. المدرس اقتلوها يا إخوان. الطلاب بما نقتلها؟ المدرس اقتلها بحذائك يا هشام. أماتت هشام؟ نعم ماتت. المدرس اجلسوا يا أبنائي، اقرأ الدرس يا علي. علي أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. خلق الإنسان من علق. يا أستاذ حفظت هذه السورة. أي سورة أحفظ بعدها؟ المدرس احفظ سورة التين. خذ دفترك هذا واكتب فيه سورة العلق. يا أبا بكر إنك نعسان. اذهب إلى الحمام واغسل وجهك. افتح النوافذ يا عبد الله، فإن الغرفة مظلمة والجو حار. All right. Okay, so last week we had gone through the meaning of the words. Anybody don't understand any meaning? Anybody doesn't understand the meaning of any of the words in the passage? Everyone understands? Aqrabun is a scorpion. Okay. Ha huna means here or there is. Ha huna. Uktub is the command form of kataba yaktubu uktub. Right. Al waraq is a page. Right. A page, or it could mean a leaf of a tree as well. Right. What else we have here? Khida, it means a shoe. All right. So uktulha be with, be means with. Khidai ends with the hamza here. Okay. Khidai means shoe. And ka means your. So with your shoe. Ya Hisham, O Hisham. Mata yamutu is to die, or he died. All right. All right, so let's go through. We did a few of the grammatical structures, or the grammatical structure of some of the sentences last week. Okay, so let's go through it again. We're going to do over some of what we did last week, and we'll try to finish off the passage, inshallah, and then we'll go on to the exercises at Tadribat. So look at your screen or look at your books, and we're going to see how this is broken down. Okay, so we have here man. This is an interrogative particle, right? Means who. B is a harf al-jar, right? Means with or by, right? Or in, right? So man bil bab, who is by the door or who is at the door, as we say in English, all right? Al babu, the door. Now, because there's a harf al-jar, the word bab would be in the genitive case. Therefore, it will take what? It will take a kasra, okay? Take a kasra. Man bil babi. Talibun, a student replied, Ana, I, Talibun jadidun. I am a new student. Okay. Teacher said, Udkhul, enter. This is a command form, okay? Command form of the verb, dakhala, yadkhulu, udkhul. Masmuka. Remember this here is Hamzatul Wasl. Hamzatul Wasl is not pronounced if there's something before it in the sentence. All right, if there's nothing before it, then you put either fatha, dhamma, or kasra, depending on where the Hamzatul Wasl occurs. All right. So that's why here we say mas. Mim goes straight to the scene. This aleph becomes silent, and this Hamzatul Wasl becomes silent. So we say mas, mas, mas mu ka. We say ka because it's masculine singular. Okay, mas mu ka. What is your name? Right. At-talibu, the student, ismi, my name is Humayunu. Humayunu. So the Mudarris asks, Humayunu, Humayun, kaifa taktubu hadha al-isma? How do you write this name? How do you write this name? So hadha means this, al-ism, or al-ismu, al-isma in this case, because of the it is maf'ul bihi. That's why it has the fatha on it, right? It means the name. Kaifa is again interrogative particle asking a question. Kaifa taktubu. Taktubu is a present tense verb from kataba yaktubu taktubu. You write. How do you write this name? And then he asks the student, Humayun, uktub hu. Uktub hu ala, write it. Ala hadhihi al-waraqa. Write it on this paper. At-tulabu, the students, ya ustadhu, o teacher, ha huna aqrabun. Here is a scorpion, or there is a scorpion. Al-Mudarrisu, the teacher. Aqrabun fil fasli, is there a scorpion in the class? So here you have aqrabun. Notice here, this is like the mubtada, or the beginning of the sentence. Normally we say the mubtada always is ma'ruf. It is definite. It is not nakira. Is ma'rifa, not nakira. It is definite, not indefinite. Okay. However, there are a few cases that you can't have an indefinite mubtada. All right. If you have the interrogative particle like this, a, then we can use an indefinite mubtada. Right? As Allah says in the Quran, ilahun ma'allah, is there a God with Allah? Right? Is a what do you call it? Kind of question, rhetorical question, right? So here is aqrabun. Is there a scorpion? Fil fasl, is there a scorpion in the class? Fi al fasl, right? So it's the fi is the harf al jar. Therefore, al fasl will be ismul majrur, right? So it will be, in the case of jar, it will have a kasra below the lam. Fil fasli. Aina here, where is it? Aina here, where is it? At-tullabu unzur huna ya ustadhu. Look here, O teacher. So here they're using the command form of the verb. Nadhara yanzuru unzur. Nadhara yanzuru unzur. Right? Look here, O teacher. Here tahta maktabi Hishamin. Naam.
One question. How come they use a huna for hair in this line, and before they use ha huna?
Right. So the ha huna is more. The ha is like to call attention to. Right. So over here, or look out, or here is a scorpion. So whereas you would say huna here in regular speech, right? As we see here, unzur huna, look here. Whereas before, they're calling the attention. So it's like what do you say in English? Is not an expression of amazement, or expression of shock or of awe. Ha huna, look out, or there is, something like that, right? Ha huna aqrabun. Also, you have hunaka, which is there. So huna is here, and hunaka is there. You also have hunalika. Hunalika is slightly different, as in at that point. It may not be there, like as in a physical place, right? But as in that point, meaning at that point in a chronological order. So something happened, this happened, then, or at that point, or there, when this happened, then this happened. So it may be more chronological, or that is hunalika, right? I don't think we met that as yet, right? So we have slight differences depending on different contexts and so on, right? So huna means here, right? So unzur huna, look here, ya ustad, o teacher. Here, tahta maktabi Hishamin. It is tahta, means under, okay? Under maktabi. So tahta maktabi, under the desk of Hisham, under Hisham's desk, okay? So tahta maktabi, now this is like what we say is preposition, right? It's like a preposition in English, right? But in Arabic, it functions as mudaf ilayh, right? Tahta maktabi, right? So we wouldn't call this a harf jar, right? But it's more zarf, right? Zarf makan, right? So it's under. So it functions as mudaf ilayh. So this functions as a mudaf, and this will be the mudaf ilayh. The same word, which is the mudaf ilayh for tahta, is also a mudaf for the word after it, okay? So maktabi Hishamin. Hisham's desk. So therefore, these two are in the case of jar. Right? Al-Mudarris, uqtuluha. This is again a command form of the verb. Kill it. Ya ikhwanu. Kill it, O brothers. So again, you still have to look at how I mentioned it last week and I show a brief breakdown of it, but we will get into it in a little more detail in the exercise, all right, as to how we form the command verb from the second person present tense verb, all right? So the second person present tense plural would have been from qatala, qatala, yaqtulu, taqtulu, taqutuluna. Taqutuluna is the second person present tense verb for kill, right? Taqutuluna, you all, plural, kill, all right? So from taqutuluna, you get uqtulu, uqtulu. The slight change, we will see how that is broken down after, right? So uqtuluha, kill it, ya ikhwan, or brothers. At-tulabu, the students, bima naqtuluha, with what do we kill it, right? So again, you have ma, mim with the aleph, right? I'm gonna shake you with this mouse. Ma means what, right? This, get this out of here. Ma means what, okay? But once you add on something to it, like an or be, then this fatha is lost. So then we get be ma. Be ma, but then this part here, the aleph is taken off once we add. So it's bima, bima, short meme, all right? So it means with what? Right, with what? Naqtuluha. So you have qatala, yaqtulu, naqtulu. Okay? This is not command form, this is the present tense form of the verb. Okay? Look at it here carefully. Remember the previous few chapters we dealt with the present tense form. So we have qatala. Yaqtulu, taqtulu, aqtulu, I kill, naqtulu, we kill. Right? Bima naqtuluha, what do we kill? With what do we kill it? All right. Al-mudarrisu uqtulha. So this now is command. Look at it here. Uqtulha bihidaika. Kill it with your shoe, ya Hishamu. So again here you have the harf al-jar bi. So therefore the noun hidai will take the kasra. Bi hidaika, with your shoe or Hisham. Then the teacher asks, amatat. So you have mata, yamutu. Right? Matat. Is it dead? Hishamun. Naam, matat. Yes, it is dead. Then the teacher asked them, Ijlisu. So we have jalasa, yajlisu, ijlis, ijlisu. So this is the plural command form of the verb, jalasa, yajlisu. Ijlisu, notice, how do we know it's plural? Because we have the waw al-jama'a here. See the waw al-jama'a? Waw al-jama'a, right? Ijlisu, right? Ya abana'i. Iqra ad-darsa. So from the verb qara'a, qara'a, you get yaqra'u, qara'a, yaqra'u. He read, he reads. Qara'a, yaqra'u. Then for the command form, you drop out the present tense prefix, right? So we get iqra, right? Iqra. ad-darsa ya Ali. Now notice what is going on here, right? We have the command form of the verb qara'a yaqra'u iqra. Iqra is the command which means to read. But look what's going on here. You have the hamzatul wasl here, represented by the alif. Of course, in this case, it takes a kasra, right? So this comes like a new sentence, all right? This comes like a what? A new sentence. Because why? Because the teacher made a statement, then he paused, 3 dots, dot, 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 he paused, and then he started a new expression. So in this case, you would not say that this is coming directly in contact with this hamzatul wasl. And we know the rule for hamzatul wasl is that once there's something before it, it becomes silent, all right? If there's nothing before it, then we read it with the relevant and the pertinent vowel, whether it's fatha, dhamma, or kasra, right? That's the hamzatul wasl. However, because of the pause, this long pause, we do not consider this now to be coming directly after this, because there's a pause. So this comes like a new sentence or a new expression. Therefore, we have to read the hamzatul wasl here, okay? So we would pause after the teacher says, Ijlisu ya abna'i. Pause, 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 pause. Iqra, right? So here we read the hamzatul wasl. However, with the command form of the verb, so this is the second point now. Sorry, I shouldn't say however, this is the second point. The second point I wanted to make for this word is that the command form of the verb ends with a what? With a sukun. It ends with a sukun. And look what comes after this word is ad-darsa. What is ad-darsa? The lesson, right? Alif lam and then the dal. The dal has a shadda in it, right? So this is also hamzatul wasl. This will be silent, and therefore we go to the lam. The lam is also silent. Why? Because the dal is a sun letter. So we do not say al darsa, but we say ad darsa, right? That's as if you're saying this word by itself. Now, if you're saying it with this before it, we have a shadda coming in contact with a sukun. Now remember, shadda is really a sukun. It's a double letter with the first letter having sukun on it. All right. So this would be like 2 dals, the first one having a sukun. So we have the problem of 2 sukuns clashing. 2 sukuns what? Clashing. So in this case, what do? We put a kasra below the first one in reading, not in writing, in reading it. Okay? So what do we say? Iqra'i. Iqra'i ad-darsa. Iqra'id. Iqra'id darsa. Iqra'id darsa. Okay? You all see that? Iqra'id darsa. Ya Ali. Read the lesson, O Ali. Right? Why do we put the kasra there again? Because 2 sukuns are clashing, and we can't have 2 sukuns clashing. We need to put a vowel, right, in one of them. All right, so Ali starts to read. He says, A'udhu, I seek help or refuge. A'udhu billah, I seek refuge with Allah. Min ash-shaytani. Min is harf jar. Now look at what's going on here. We just said 2 sukuns clashing, right? So the word min, it has a sukun and the noon, all right? But because it's coming before the word ash-shaytan, the sheen has a shadda in it. Therefore, you have, again, just as we had above, the 2 sukuns clashing, so we wouldn't say, we would put a vowel in on one of them. In this case, we put a fatha on the noon, all right? So we say minash, right? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the accursed. I begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. اقرأ باسمي. اقرأ باسمي. Look at it here. اقرأ, command form, be ismi. Right? Read in the name Bismi Rabbika, in the name of your Lord, Alladhi Khalaqa, the one who created. Khalaqa al-insana, he created insan. Now insan here would be maf'ul bihi, Therefore, it will be in accusative form, and it has the fatha on the last letter, right? Showing it is mansub. Min alaqin, from a clot of blood, right? He created mankind from a clot of blood. Then Ali asks, Ya Ustadu, O teacher, Hafiztu, I memorized Hadihi Surata, this surah. Ayya Suratin, which surah, right? Ahfadhu, I will memorize Ba'daha, after it. Now, this present tense verb, the present tense verb can be used, well, obviously you use it for present tense, for action that's going on now, but it could also be implying an action that is imminent, all right? An action that is what? Imminent. For example, we can say, adhabu or nadhabu ila al-masjidi. Nadhabu ila al-masjidi. We are going to the masjid, all right? This time you could be sitting down at home on your chair, speaking to someone and saying, we are going to the masjid, all right? You're not physically on the way to the masjid, but what is imminent is about to happen. We are now on the way. So yes, we can say, I am going to the masjid, all right? So this implies, is a sort of a future tense, but it's something that is about or imminent to happen, all right? So this is ahfadhu. Ayya suratin ahfadhu ba'daha. What surah are we memorizing after it? After the surah that they have memorized already, all right? So the teacher said, ihfadh. Hafidha is to memorize or to learn. Ihfadh surah at-tini. Learn or memorize surah at-tin. Now, just to pause here a little bit. This sentence, ihfadh surah at-tini, this is a verbal sentence. All right, so I want you all to stick with me on this, right? We have, in Arabic, we have nominal sentences, we have verbal sentences. You're probably fed up hearing me say that, but I'm saying it so that it would stick and we wouldn't forget, all right? So the verbal sentences, of course, begins with a verb, and after the verb comes the doer of the verb, or the fa'il, and after the fa'il comes the maf'ul bihi, right, or the object of the sentence. So you have the verb, you have the subject, and you have the object, all right? Subject, or the, in this case in Arabic, we call it the fa'il, or the doer of the verb, all right? So in this sentence, it is a verbal sentence. It has a verb, it has the doer of the verb, and it has the maf'ul bihi, or the object. Remember we said the fa'il, all right, generally it is or it is rafa, or in this, the nominative case. The maf'ul bihi, it is in the case of nasb, or it is accusative, all right? So therefore it will carry the respective signs for the respective cases, all right? Now in this sentence, we have it beginning with a command form of the verb, ihfadh. That's the verb, all right? Then we have the doer of the verb, the doer of the verb. And then we have the maf'ul bihi, or the object. Now, who can tell me what is the doer of the verb in this sentence? Or the fa'il? Where is the fa'il in the sentence?
Mustatir.
Mustatir, naam. It is hidden. But what does it represent? Taqdiruhu mother. It is hidden. So it's not expressly written, but it is understood. Think about it. Who is doing the action? Or who is about to do the action?
Anna.
Sorry?
Anna.
Ali.
Ali or Anna. All right, no, remember we said, think about the hint that I mentioned last week. We said the command form of the verb only is extracted from the second person present tense verbs. So the doer of any command form of the verb, once we have a command form of the verb, the doer is always second person. It's either second person masculine singular, second person feminine singular, second person masculine plural, second person feminine plural, always second person. All right. So ihfaz, right, here it is anta, takdiruhu anta. So remember, command, you always command in the second person. You don't command yourself, and you don't command somebody who's absent, the third person. So you cannot command first person, and you cannot command third person. It's always second person. So it's either anta or anti. You masculine or you feminine, right? Singular. Or you all masculine plural, or you all feminine plural, right? Of course, we ain't get on into dual as yet, right? So when you get to dual, we'll do that, which is pretty simple, right? It's just to use a particular suffix, right? But in this case, it will be the doer of the verb will be the understood pronoun, or what we say damir al-mustatir, the understood pronoun or the hidden pronoun, taqdiruhu anta, right? Which represents what? What pronoun? Anta, you, right? In this case, it is masculine singular, ihfaz. We'll see later on how we'll use the feminine singular, all right, or masculine plural, or the feminine plural, right? You'll see that in the exercises, all right? So here is the masculine singular, anta, you. So ihfaz anta, you memorize Surat At-Tini. So the verb or the noun, sorry, the pronoun, the understood pronoun, anta, it is the fa'il, the doer of the verb. All right. Ihfaz anta Surat At-Tini. You memorize Surah Tin. So the word surah, surata, it is the maf'ul bihi mansub wa alamatu nasbihi al-fatha al-zahira. All right. So the word surata, it is mansub, it is the object. It is the maf'ul bihi, sorry, it is the object. It is mansub in the case of, or the accusative case. Wa alamatu nasbihi, and the sign of it being accusative is the fatha al-zahira, the clear fatha, the last letter, right? There's this one here, right? Fatha al-zahira, right? So then the teacher says, خذ دفترك, take your book, your copybook. هذا, this, take this, your copybook, right? واكتب فيه, and write in it. So كتب يكتب اكتب with a sukun on the ba, اكتب فيه, and write in it سورة العلق, Surah Al-Alaq, write in it Surah Al-Alaq. Then that's the end of the sentence. Then he's addressing Abu Bakr now. Ya Aba Bakrin. Aba Bakrin. Now remember the rules for nida. So ya is a harfun nida, or the particle of addressing or calling out. Ya, oh, so and so, right? So ya Aba. Now we know the rules here. If it is, this ya is coming before a noun that has tanween, right? It loses one of the tanween. If it is coming before a mudaf ilay, the mudaf now will be in the accusative case. So that's why we have, instead of Abu Bakr, we have Aba Bakr. So you would have heard, maybe listening to, or reading different hadith, or listening to different speeches and so on, sometimes you would hear Abi Bakr, Abu Bakr, or Aba Bakr. It all has to do with the case. All right. So one will be accusative, one will be nominative, and one will be genitive. Right. That is because the word Abu, it is one of the special 5 nouns. Remember, we said there are 5 special nouns. Why are they special? Because they change case not by the letter. Remember, they have normally, if a word is in a case, in the nominative case, it would have a dhamma on the last letter. If it is accusative, it would have a fatha on the last letter. If it is genitive, it would have a kasra below the last letter. All right? That is normal nouns, common nouns. These 5 special nouns, they change case not by the vowel on the last letter, but rather changing from a dhamma to alif, sorry, not dhamma, a waw to alif to a ya. So Abu Bakr will change to Aba Bakr for accusative and Abi Bakr for genitive. All right. So in this case, the ya makes the maf'ul would make the mudaf in the accusative case. And because the Abu is one of the 5 special nouns, instead of taking a fatha to show it is accusative, it will take a alif. All right. So we say ya Aba Bakr. So the ya is harfun nida, Aba, it is mudaf, mansub, wa alamatu nasbihi al-alif, li'annahu min asma' al-khamsa. Right, so it is mansub because it is mansub, and the sign of it being mansub is the alif, because it is from the 5 special nouns. Right, and Bakrin is the it is the mudaf ilay. Did I say maf'ul? Yes, Aba is mudaf and Bakr is mudaf ilay. Right? And of course, mudaf ilay is always genitive or majroor, and the sign of it being majroor is the kasra. Right? Right, now we have the teacher saying, Ya Aba Bakrin, O Aba Bakr, innaka, verily you. So you have the inna here, which is a particle of tawkid, of emphasis. Inna ka, verily you, na'sanu, na'sanu. Right? Now, if you recall, when we use inna or any of its sisters, right, certain things happen. Right? In terms of the case of the words and pronouns that come after. Right? So whenever you have inna, the word after it is called ismu inna. Ismu inna. Ismu inna is normally in the accusative case. All right. And the khabar inna, it is in the nominative case, or it is marfu. Okay. Now in this particular sentence, the ismu inna, it is a pronoun, which is ka. Now all pronouns are indeclinable. So it will be in the situation of nasb, but it will not decline to the nasb. Okay? Innaka. This fatha here is from the original pronoun. It is not because it is accusative, right? But it is fi mahal nasb. Ismu inna. It is in position of being nasb because it is functioning as the ism of inna. Innaka, verily you, na'san, you are sleepy. Idhab. Right, so there should be a sukun here. Idhab ila. Go to al-hammami, go to the washroom. Waghsil, and wash. So we see here the command form of the verb ghasala yaghsilu ighsil, which means the wash. All right, of course, hamzatul wasl will be silent because there's the waw before it. So we say what? Waghsil, and wash. Wajhaka, your face, wash your face. Now the ha here has the fatha on it because it is maf'ul bihi. It is the object of the sentence. This is the thing that is being Washed is the object of the verb, the action, which is the washing. All right. So wash your face. So the wajha ka has to take the fatha to show it is mansub. Wa alamatu nasbihi al fatha al zahira. The sign of it being mansub is the fatha al zahira. Then the teacher pause again. Iftahi an nawafida. Iftahin nawafida. Again, we have the sukun coming in conjunction with another sukun. Right? Where is the sukun? The first one is on the ha, because this is a command form of the verb. Right? Iftah with a sukun on the ha. All right? Iftah. You see that? Iftah. Which means to open, right? Fataha, he opened. Yaftahu, he opens. Iftah, open, command. And nawafida, the windows. Sukun come in conjunction with sukun. You have to put a kasra below the first one. So you say iftahi, iftahin. Join to the noon. Iftahin nawafida. Open the windows. Ya Abdullah. So look at this here. You have the ya again, and this time you have Abdullah. Instead of Ababak, you have Abdullah. Look at the word here. Abd takes the fatha. Why? Because it is mudaf ilayh. Abdullah, right? So you say ya Abdullah. Ya Abdullah. Because of the ya, the Abdullah changed to Abdullah with a fatha on the dal. Okay? Why? Because of the ya. Ya Abdullahi. O Abdullah. فَإِنَّ الْغُرْفَةَ Fa means and or. So, inna, so verily, or this whole construction here, فَإِنَّ, right, has a different connotation in terms of the meaning, right? So, فَإِنَّ really means because, or so that, or because of, right? فَإِنَّ الْغُرْفَةَ because al-ghurfata, because the room, mudlimatun, it is dark, because the room is dark. Wal jawwa harun, and the jaw is the climate or the weather or the atmosphere, right? It is harun, it is hot. All right, so let's begin some of the exercises. We have to give a little more explanation on some of these concepts, but inshallah, when you go through the exercises, we'll get a little more exposure to some more examples, and then we'll go into a little more detail as to the understanding of it, right? So just bear with me there. I need to dive a little deeper into the difference between the inna and anna, all right? So we have here inna and anna, all right? Now, I will explain that inshallah, if not today, next week, but I did a little digging in that, and it will take a little explanation inshallah, right? So let's look at the exercises here. Tamarin. As usual, the first one or two exercises is basic comprehension exercises, all right? So let's see. واحد أجب عن الأسئلة الآتية. Answer the following questions. Answer the following questions. واحد ما اسم الطالب الجديد؟ ما اسم الطالب الجديد? What is the name of the new student? Who wants to answer that question? It's in the first 2 or 3 lines of the passage. ما اسم الطالب الجديد؟ اسمه همايون. Right? His name is همايون. Yeah. اثنين أين right. أين كانت الأقرب؟ أين كانت الأقرب؟ Where was the scorpion? نعم. كانت تحت مكتب هشام. Right, straight from the passage. You know, one of the things is teach children when they doing comprehension in standard 1, standard 2, standard 3, standard 4. We just see the answers to the questions are straight from the passage. Normally, when you do comprehension questions, you don't change up the passage whatsoever. You don't put it in your own words. You give it straight from the passage. Only if they ask you, put in your own words why so and so. Then you give your interpretation of your take on it. But otherwise, it's straight from the passage. So similarly here, these answers are straight from the passage, right? كانت تحت مكتب هشام. It was under the desk of Hisham. نعم. ثلاثة. من الذي قتلها? Who it is that killed it? Anybody? من الذي قتلها? Who killed it? The scorpion.
قتلها هشام.
نعم. قتلها هشام. Hisham killed it. نعم. أربعة. بما قتلها? With what did he kill it? Buddy? قتلها. نعم نعم قتلها بحذائه. بحذائه. So you can't say ka because remember you're not speaking directly to Hisham, you're speaking about Hisham. So you have to say his shoe. So you would say bihidaihi. Instead of ka for you, you would say he for his. Okay? So bihidaihi, with his shoe. Right? خمسة. أي سورة حفظ علي? Which surah did Ali memorize? Let's see. يا أستاذ حفظت هذه السورة. What surah is that? Was he reading? اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. Surah. What surah is that? Surah Al-Alaq. All right, so حفظ علي سورة العلق. Ali memorized Surah Al-Alaq. Now, رقم 2. صحح ما يلي. Correct what follows. All right, so you have some wrong statements here and we need to correct it. Let's look at them. واحد. قال المدرس لعلي اقتل العقرب. هذا صحيح ولا؟ هذا غير صحيح. هذا ليست صحيح. قال المدرس لي هشام. نعم. Yeah, Hisham. He told Hisham, okay? قال المدرس لهشام اقتل العقرب. نعم. Actually, he said twice. He said once to everybody, and then he said specifically to Hisham. All right. الاثنين. قال المدرس لهشام افتح النوافذ. افتح النوافذ. هذا ليس صحيح. افتح النوافذ يا عبد الله. So he said to Abdullah, open the windows. Okay. قال المدرس لعبد الله افتح النوافذ. قال المدرس لهمايون اذهب إلى الحمام واغسل يدك. هذا ليس صحيح. صحيح. قال المدرس لمن? Who did he send to wash his face? Abu Bakr. نعم. Abu Bakr. Ya Abu Bakr. Innaka na'san. Oh Abu Bakr, you are sleepy. So who did he send? Abu Bakr. So قال المدرس لأبي بكر. Remember I said Aba, Abi. So if we say li, we will say li Abi Bakr. قال المدرس لأبي بكر. Not li as in with ya. Li. Lam kasra. Right? قال المدرس لأبي بكر اذهب إلى الحمام واغسل وجهك. ليس يدك. وجهك. Sorry, يديك. وجهك. And wash your face. 4. قال المدرس لعلي احفظ سورة النبأ. هذا ليس صحيح. قال المدرس لعلي احفظ سورة العلق. سورة التين. نعم. احفظ سورة التين. Learn سورة التين. Right. Now, look what I was just saying here. We made a note here, right? تأمل, observe. Abu Bakr li Abi Bakr. Look at here. Abu Bakr li Abi Bakr. You see? Li, because of the lam, this which he said was one of the 5 special nouns. The case is changed by the waw, changing to Aleph, as we saw earlier in the passage, and here we see it changing to a what? A ya. Ba and the ya. You see it here? Li Abi Bakrin. To Abu Bakr. See it? Because of the word Abu, Aba, Abi. It is one of the 5 special nouns. Right? رقم 3. اقرأ ما يلي. So here, right, so this is how we come about with the command form of the verb. Command form of the verb, right? So we're going to spend 1 or 2 minutes on this, and inshallah next week we will start back here and we'll go through in a little more detail, all right? So we have here Anta taktubu. Anta taktubu. You are writing. Right? Anta, you, taktubu. Writing, right? So kataba, yaktubu, taktubu. You are writing. Okay. So from taktubu, you have the verb taktubu. We drop out the ta. Look what's going on here. Ta is dropped out. And the dhamma at the end is dropped out. Put a sukun instead. Right? And then what do? We add a hamzatul wasl. Add the what? Hamzatul wasl. So instead of taktubu, you get uktub. Uktub. Please recall with the hamzatul wasl, if there's anything before it, it becomes silent. So if there's a waw before it, you will say waktub. Waktub. Right? Waktub. So taktubu, uktub. Uktub. Let's look at another example. Anta tadkhulu. From tadkhulu, you get udkhul. Right? You drop out the prefix that is put there for the present tense. Right? You go back down to the 3 root letters, and we add the hamzatul wasl at the beginning. All right, so you get udkhul, udkhul. All right, let's look at some examples here. You can read after me. Ukhruj min al-fasli ya Bashir. Ukhruj min al-fasli ya Bashir. Uktub darsaka ya Ali. Uktub darsaka ya Ali. Usjud lillahi. Usjud lillahi. So sajada yasjudu usjud lillahi. As to make sajda to Allah. Okay. So sajada yasjudu usjud lillahi. So then you have nadhara yanzuru unzur. Unzur ila dhaka. Dhakal jabal. Unzur ila dhakal jabal. Look at that mountain. اقتل هذه الحية يا عمي يا عمي. Kill this snake, oh my uncle. ادخل ادخل يا حامد. ادخل يا حامد. اشكر ربك. اشكر ربك. So you have the verb shakara yashkuru ushkur. Shakara means to give thanks, all right, or to be grateful. So ushkur rabbaka, be grateful to your Lord. Next one. Uskut ya waladu. Uskut ya waladu. Sakata yaskutu. Uskut is to be quiet, or be silent, oh boy, right? Uknus هذا الغرفة غرفة هذه الغرفة. أكنس هذه الغرفة. So you have كنيسة يكنس أكنس هذه الغرفة. I think كنيسة means like to lock up, right? Sorry, to sweep. It's a sweep. Meknasa is a broom. So oknos is to sweep. So to sweep up or to tide, to clean up this room. Right? Oknos هذه الغرفة. All right, so we'll pause it today, inshallah. All right. Next week we will look at some more examples of the command form of the verb, inshallah. Any questions before we close off today? All right, so before we close off, the issue I mentioned at the beginning, for those of you who were not there or didn't log in as yet, the Imam has basically asked that we, shift the night for our class from Wednesday to Tuesday night, right? And of course, at the beginning of the class today, we asked if anybody has any objection or any input or any questions with respect to that. And of course, that is so that we can, some of the members of this class are also in another class that is face-to-face in the masjid, and they would like to have that class on a Sunday and a Wednesday night. So inshallah, I personally don't have a problem with the Tuesday night. Anybody else has any issue with that? So we shift our class from next week. This will begin as soon as next week, right? We would have our class on Tuesday nights. Is that okay with everyone? Nobody's saying anything, so I'm assuming everyone's okay with that. All right, so all right, so inshallah, nobody has any problem. Let's see. Okay, all right, so Intikab said okay. All right, so inshallah, next week Tuesday, please remember, I believe the Imam will send out a reminder. So next week Tuesday night at 8:15, we resume the class, inshallah ta'ala. Okay? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات تواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته